ladies and gentlemen, next session, it's about dealing with gender issues at workplace. First of all, I would like to call our moderator for this session, the HR head of Save the Children, Ms. Sulakashna Tamrakaar. I would also like to call upon the director of Golcha organization, Mrs. Seema Golcha. I would also like to call upon the youth activist, Sanjog Thakuri. And yes, my lecturer from my MBA days, the assistant professor of Kathmandu University's School of Education, Dr. Amina Sen. Well, I studied at ACE Institute of Management, and I would like to share one small experience with Amina ma'am. I don't know, I forgot the question, but in my answer, in my one page of answer, I wrote, women are weaker than men physically. Well, I wrote that. And I remember when it was 8 years back, she circled it and said, I don't think so. And maybe that's why she's here talking about the gender issues at workplace. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You may now start the discussion.
So, with the global and technical advances, we have seen changes, lots of changes in the workforce demography these days. We've seen that there's been new talents that are coming up, more women in the workplace, and differently able employees being employed by the organizations. So it is well accepted fact that if an organization really wants to achieve the high potential, it needs to invest in workforce diversity. So when we are talking about workforce diversity, we can't just stop or not, we can't remain silent or not talk about women and its issue in the organization. Because for any organization to develop, gender equality is a must. That's what I think. And even in the Nepalese country context, in this changing context, we've seen that government has invested quite a lot in gender equalities.
Thanks. Is this working? Okay. Thanks, Sulakashna. Good afternoon, everyone. I think the gender issues sort of they've been there always. I think it's just that the way we perceive our world, not just the social world, but our professional work-life world. The perspective is shifting, and the fact that we're talking about this in a very diverse crowd like this is sort of a manifestation of that. In terms of the issues, rather than going to the issues straightly, I think I'll sort of add with first of all, what do we mean when we say gender, and when we say gender issues, what exactly are we talking about? Without going too much into the theory of it, the discourse says gender is a social construct. It's not something that is factual. It's something that we made up. We have these norms, cultural and social norms about what it means to be a man in this world, what it means to be a woman in this world, how a man should behave versus how a woman should behave, where should be the place for the woman versus where should be the place for the man in our society. And basically what happens is we bring those ideas into the workplace as well. And so from an organizational perspective, the way we organize our work practices are also influenced by these ideas about gender. So it's subtle, it's there. It's the way we design the organization. If you look at the board, who gets to be on the board, when we conceptualize the birth of an organization, when you think about the policies, the policies are usually drafted from a very male worldview, from a masculine perspective, and even the practices within the organization. Just for instance, leadership, that's a topic I teach at university. If you look at just the discourse of leadership, it's primarily, it valorizes masculine qualities as opposed to feminine qualities. It's only in the last couple of years that feminine qualities have been valorized and valued as desirable leadership qualities. So it's just the whole practice of how do we function in a workplace has been extremely gendered. And we've taken it for granted without being completely gender blind. As a result of that, what it does is, for the way we function in the workplace, it basically gives certain privilege to men or people who have strong masculine characteristics. So it could be a woman, but as long as you sort of espouse and you know, use some of those masculine qualities, you reach somewhere. Also, the practices, they function in a way where it privileges men's social life, and it completely ignores women's social life as well. So it's like a chicken and egg thing. Do we then, you know, fix the social problem first and then focus on the work life, or should we, you know, fix the problem in the work place first? So if you talk about the issues, so they're everywhere. But just to give you some examples, for instance, in terms of job description, the way we design job descriptions, you know, how do we think about that? From an HR perspective, how do we think about HR policies in a way that they give equal opportunities to all? What I mean by that is acknowledging the fact that there are certain social responsibilities placed upon a woman that might limit their possibilities of being very productive at the workplace. How does the HR policy, how does the HR perspective take that into consideration? A simple case that, and I think most of you know, is maternity leave. How do we think about that? Flexi hours for women, so that they sort of can take care of their social life needs as well. I think we have to do these short-term fixes until the larger, broader society shifts how you know, women are perceived, and you know, what kind of social expectations are placed upon women. I'm not sure if I answered all your questions, but
yes,
that's
I would like to know what kind of key issues that we are.
Yeah, I feel HR deals with the most important resource of the organization, and that's employees. Whichever company, the most important resource are the employees. So in our company, HR head is a female, is a woman. So she's in the top letter, she's the head. About the salary, because I have just found out that there are organizations where there is a salary structures different for women and different for men. So we have a band system where this many years of work experience, this much of qualification, you form in the category assistant manager. You move on to managerial level, X number of years of experience, Y that position, and then you get it. So that's a band. Whether you're a male or a female, then there's no difference. Whoever achieves the target, whoever follows in the band. But yes, the changes have taken place after a long period of time. What I'm saying, my grandmother was never in the top ladder. My mother was a working woman. Now here I am in the management. So even with you all, your grandmothers may not have sat here. How many grandmothers sat here in this conference? Few number of women, and now I see few number of mothers, and now we see these women. So there are changes, and the newer generation, there's going to be a lot of change, because just before coming, I was talking to my son who has studied abroad and just got back and joined business. He's 24, and I was telling him that there are difference in the salary of women and men in certain organizations for the same job. And he just looked at her and said, "Mom, are you crazy?" These were his words. There's something beyond the newer generation cannot even imagine that there can be this discrimination. But we have seen the change. We saw what it was earlier, and we've seen it now. So it's been a journey, and it's going to be a better journey later.
Thank you. Another question for you, Sivaji, is like, what message would you like to convey to all these participants so that they can, especially the woman who aspires to be in the leadership position?
I also agree with that. There's lots of biasness and the stereotype that you mentioned about the work, or the way the women should behave, the way the men should behave. You know, there's lots of stereotype in that. And even the work, as you rightly mentioned, lots of the front desk work, I assume that it's a women's job, and then lots of all the bigger positions, I assume that it's a men's job. And I think as a professional, we can take stand, and we can take stand for that. The job is job, and it shouldn't be recruited based on the gender bias stereotype or something like that. So I think taking a stand on that and taking that against that mindset is something that we all can do it from ourselves. She was also said that our government, even they have allocated some kind of reservation, but we see the cabinet and it's not satisfactory. Unfortunately, it's not satisfactory, but if they are not doing, let's not stop us doing or changing the mindset from ourselves, from where we are. So let's do it, start from our office. Let's start from our home. I think there's where the change begins.